seems the crisis at the Joburg Water is worsening. Residents in parts of the city have been experiencing water shortages for nearly 2 weeks now. Yesterday, we saw frustrated residents of Robertsham and Joburg South staging a protest during Mayor Thapelo Ahmad's media briefing in Braamfontein. The mayor has since promised to attend to the grievances. Ahmad also urged Rand Water and Joburg Water to settle their differences. For more on this, we're joined now in studio by Ntshavheni Mukwevho. He's the managing director of Joburg Water. Mr. Mukwevho, thank you very much for your time. Please just explain to us why the mayor would say Joburg Water and Rand Water need to sort out their differences. What's happening there?
The issue there, it's a word of background, and good morning to you and good morning to your viewers as well. The area that's been affected in the main is the Crown Gardens area, which is really in the south of Johannesburg. This area covered areas of Winchester, Robertsham and so on, as well as an area around Brixton, Crosby and Hestiel. So the issue there really from the water supply point of view, the issue started mainly as a result of frequent power failure that has happened at our bulk supplier installation. And those frequent power failure that happened resulted in the storage reservoirs of our bulk supply as well as our storage reservoirs going too low to empty, and that resulted in us not being able to supply water in those areas. Of course, we've been engaging with our bulk supplier in the process that things must be resolved so that they can be able to pump more water into the system. I must also add that what compounded the issue, especially in Crown Gardens, was the vandalism that happened at one of their pipeline, and I think that was communicated on Wednesday, and that incident happened on Tuesday. That is the incident that really created a situation whereby the reservoir zone for Crown Gardens could not supply water from Wednesday up to Friday. But we were able to start bringing back water supply into that zone from Saturday.
So I'm trying to understand why the mayor would say something like Rand Water, Joburg Water, please get along or sort out your differences. My understanding is that you are a customer of Rand Water?
Yes, we are.
So where's the miscommunication there or the fault?
I think from the mayor's point of view, the issue there is that the particular issue has taken too long to resolved. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's no communication. There's been really an ongoing communication so that we can make sure that we resolve the issue. But the mayor, what he was saying there was that this issue needs to be resolved. It's been taking too long.
Yeah, 2 weeks is quite long for someone not to receive water. It actually goes against the constitutional rights of your own customers.
Yes, but I must indicate that we were providing alternative water supply through our water tankers. It doesn't necessarily mean that we were not providing any form of access to water, because our responsibility is that whenever there is some form of interruption, we need to come in with alternative supply. And indeed, when this issue was really affecting the broader Crown Gardens as well as the area that I've indicated in the western part of the city, we were providing we had about 28 water tankers that were providing water in those communities.
So tell me, how much has load shedding cost Joburg Water so far?
No, this issue is not as a result of load shedding.
Okay.
No. This issue is as a result of power failure, not necessarily load shedding. This is trips that happen, or what referred to as power dips. And of course, when they happen, they need to be investigated and the issue get resolved so that the plant can be able to get power. If you look at the installation of our bulk supplier, they don't actually get load shedded. And also, if you look at the area that we have been affected around the commando system, that's the area where we have 2 pump stations on our side. This is the Brixton power station, pump station, as well as the Crosby pump station. And those 2 pump stations, we don't get load shedding in those 2 pump stations. Above that, we also have a backup generator in case if there is a power failure. Because we know, and why do we do that? We know that the commando system is a very sensitive system. Any changes in the bulk supply, we start seeing it there. So hence we've made all those arrangements around the backup power.
How much of power failure has to do with infrastructure or a lack of infrastructure development and maintenance?
I wouldn't really know that because...
But is it linked?
Yes, of course, if there hasn't been proper maintenance on the installation of electricity, like any infrastructure, surely it will fail. But for this specific one, the power failure that have been happening, especially in Ntshavheni or in Val area, I will know exactly what are the causes. You know, but this is what we've been assured by our supplier who's Rand Water. They've been really engaging with the local authority in that area that supplies them power to their installations.
Okay, so they would be the ones who'd be able to tell us whether or not they've been maintaining that particular station.
Yeah.
All right. And then in terms of people saying that they don't know where these water tankers are, they haven't seen them, what's your message? We put out statements on daily basis. Not one, we put 2 statements on daily basis, and in between, throughout the day, we put in all our social media platforms, we put out the places where these tankers are, and we really try to communicate as widely as we can around the areas where water tankers are. In fact, for residents who says they are not aware, they just need to check on our social media platforms. They also just need to check in some of the community groups, because various communities have WhatsApp groups which we push those messages through as to the locality of the water tankers and as to the routes of the roaming water tankers. You know what the issue is? Some residents don't have access to things like that.
Yes, at the same time, this is the area now whereby our local councillors, community leaders, even our own stakeholder relations officers, because we've got a team that really makes sure that they are communicating with communities on the ground. They are able to spread those messages via various platforms or via various structures that exist in communities.
All right, so in terms of what Rand Water has told you so far, when will this issue be sorted according to them?
In fact, the situation has really improved a lot, and improved a lot in the sense that if you look at what we went through last week, from Wednesday to Friday, especially after the vandalism of the pipeline that happened in Mid-Val, the area of Crown Gardens, the entire area, didn't have water. When I say Crown Gardens, I mean the water supply zone, which is really a large area, didn't have water. We were able, after the repair of that vandalism was completed on Thursday, we started a process of bringing back the system, and on Saturday we were able to start supplying the larger area of that particular zone. In fact, the only area that's still outstanding is a certain street in Robertsham, which we are hoping that by tomorrow they should be having water, because the reservoir levels as of this morning, it was very good, and we have started opening the outlet of that particular system more and more, so that more people can get water.
I want to talk about the vandalism part and possible cable theft that also, you know, adds to your woes as a Joburg Water in terms of supplying water, in terms of the fact that then your budget has to be redirected to fixing that, etc. How much have you had to spend on that, and how much of it do you think is an inside job? Because how do these people know where to find these cables to vandalize or steal? Up
to now, I don't have got any reasons to suspect it being an inside job. As we know, I mean, the issue of infrastructure vandalism is quite high in the country. And even the water infrastructure, really we experience, or water sector, we really experience the same issue. If we look on our case as Joburg Water, it will cost us a lot of money, because if you look at our, all meters, you find that they get vandalized so that people can be able to get any, scrap metal that can be able to recycle. You look at the issue of cable theft at our wastewater treatment works and so on. And I would say our last number have indicated that the overall vandalism cost us in excess of 10 million per annum in terms of meters, the vandalism that happened at the plants or theft and so on.
How do things look? What's your outlook for the city of Johannesburg as Joburg Water in terms of how much access we still have as residents if something like this doesn't happen? Are we still okay?
In terms of water access?
Yes.
We're very fine, definitely, and I'm sure you have followed the media briefing of the minister, I think about 2 weeks back, where he was assuring the country that there are really indeed plans from the national level in terms of the resources, plans also at the water board level in terms of what they are doing in the medium to long term around the issue of infrastructure. Of course, at the local level, which is where I come from in terms of City of Johannesburg, we also have plans of making sure that we deal with the issue of bulk infrastructure so that we are able to have a sustainable system that are able to supply water to the communities.
Well, you know, there's also the fact that I don't know how involved Joburg Water is with the Vaal River system, and the fact that at some point we had to send the SANDF there because of the vandalism that was happening there, etc. But also, how much support do you get either from provincial or government level in terms of, you know, implementing bylaws to make sure that people don't waste the little water that we have?
Yeah. As you may be aware, Johannesburg Water is an entity owned by the City of Johannesburg.
Yes. Which
is City of Johannesburg is the responsible for implementing water services bylaw. We have a unit of JMPD in-house within Johannesburg Water, which that unit is mandate on daily basis to make sure that it implements bylaw. And that bylaw comes in many ways, areas where either it's issues of tampering with meters, issues of vandalizing meters, and so on. So there is a focus on the issue of bylaw. But of course, we've been engaging internally recently that we really need to up our game around the issue of enforcing bylaw because there's a room for us to improve, especially when it relates to the issues around meter vandalism and so on, or bypassing, because we see it as numbers seems to be increasing around those activities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukwevho, for coming in and speaking to us about this issue. Ntshavheni Mukwevho, he's the Managing Director of Joburg Water.